I'm gonna do a thin-necked bottle, so with a tall, skinny neck. So it's gonna open up just like any other pot is. I'm gonna spread out the bottom, compress the bottom, wet it and pull up. As I pull up, if you notice my finger's on top, this is keeping this top level, so I had to cut off less later. Problem with a tall neck bottle is that if one of these sides gets taller or thicker or thinner than the other, when you pull up a small skinny bottleneck, it's going to be amplified. So I want to keep it as even as I can for as long as I can so that I have enough clay up there to make a bottleneck. So as I get to the top, I want to release the pressure. I want to keep this part up here thick so that I've got clay to make a tall, skinny bottleneck. Take my skirt, cut the skirt off. Flexible metal rib of death. I'm going to go and clean up the outside edge. Kind of pushing it out into the shape that I want. I don't want to go all the way to the top because I don't want to have to collar it back in. I want to leave the top as narrow as I can while still getting my hand in it. I'm going to get the water out of the inside because once I collar it in, I really can't get a sponge in there. And then I'm going to collar. So I'm going to squeeze in. As I squeeze in, if you notice, my fingers are all the way around it. I'm pretty much completely encasing the neck. As I squeeze in, I'm going to kind of move up a little bit so that I'm not pressing down on that shoulder. Go back in with my finger underneath and lift up. And actually kind of throw back down too. And that's going to even it up too. So you can see that the top is starting to wiggle a little bit. Before it gets too out of control, I'm going to cut it off. Go back in while I can still get my fingers in it. I'm going to compress the outside shoulder here and clean up the shape. So I'm going to go back in, collar in, and lift up. Use my finger now instead of my whole hand. And pull up again. Again, you got to cut off that little bit of wiggle up here, or else it'll throw the whole piece off. Just collar in and move up. As it starts to get thin, I can't get my finger in anymore, so I'm going to use the end of a needle tool. Keep it wet. Keep the needle tool wet. Go back in and kind of use a pinching motion and pull up. Go back in and collar it in again. A lot like the goblet stem. Give it one more pull with the end of the needle tool. And then flexible metal rib of death, separate the neck from the rest of the piece. There you go, a little bottle.